Hey, it's Zane. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well today. In this video, I want to answer the question, should you buy now or wait? Buy now or wait? And this is a good question to answer right now because over the past 7 days, we've seen Bitcoin's price dip, its exchange rate from Aussie dollars, US dollars to Bitcoin. It's dipped by about 10%. And so that means that if you've bought Bitcoin a week ago, then if you're looking at a price chart, maybe you feel a little uneasy because it means that your investment, as you're looking at it right now, is down 10%. However, if you zoom out and you look at Bitcoin over the past 3 years, you'll see that it's up 500%. If you look out over the past 12 months, you'll see that it's up 75%. And so Bitcoin is an asset that actually tests you. It tests your conviction. And it's really important that when you go into Bitcoin and you hit that buy button, that you understand why you're doing it and that you're future focused, that you've done some homework on Bitcoin to understand the value of the asset that you hold. So I want to unpack this for you here today, and I've written down 4 points I want to share with you around this, because I really believe that if you're coming into Bitcoin now or you're looking to add to your position, you need to have the right mindset around this. It's so important. And I think back to when I first started stacking sats, buying Bitcoin. I'd done some work prior to doing that. I knew that Bitcoin was much more than a speculative asset. I knew that I was here for the long term. I knew that I wasn't going to be thinking about selling my Bitcoin anytime soon. And that is a really important perspective to have as you're stacking and moving forward on your Bitcoin journey. So let me share these 4 key points with you. Before I do that, I just want to remind you that this coming week, I have a Zoom live stream coming up, and the title of this 90-minute webinar is Why Bitcoin is the New Path to Wealth and Self-Sovereignty. I ran these sessions about 2 months ago, had a lot of really positive feedback, and people have been asking me to do this again, so it's on next week. So I'd love for you to join. It's a free event. You must register to join me. There's 2 sessions to choose from. Tuesday night, the 14th of October, 6:30 p.m. Brisbane time. If you can't make that session, Friday morning, 10 a.m. That's Friday morning, the 17th of October, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. So either Tuesday night or Friday morning, Brisbane time. If you'd like to join me, just type Zoom in the comments below and I'll share the link with you. You must register to access the event, and I'd love to see you there. All right, now let's get into these 4 key points. Should you buy now or wait? I believe that every day is a good day to be buying Bitcoin, to be stacking sats. Because if you have a time horizon that is 4 plus years, and I always say that, if you're coming to Bitcoin trying to trade in and out of it within the next 3 or 4 months, this is not the place for you. And so point number 1 is that Bitcoin is not a trade, it is a wealth position. Bitcoin is a wealth position. Every time you buy Bitcoin, you are opting out of the failing fiat system. And if you really understand what Bitcoin is, you know that you're not coming back anytime soon from Bitcoin back into the fiat system. Okay, so this requires a real clear understanding as to what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is designed as an opt-out. It is your opportunity to deploy savings, capital, maybe superannuation, your retirement account. It is your opportunity to hedge yourself against the debt-based fiat system. And so when you make that choice to start saving in Bitcoin, you realize that you are now taking a position, staking your claim in the new monetary system. Okay, so it's really important to understand that this is not a game of trying to find the ideal time to buy. This is a game of understanding that we are heading towards an economic cliff, a global economic cliff, because of the amount of debt that's in the system that has really been accelerating over the past several decades, but now it's going to the next level. And we can see that the impact of that all around us, everywhere we look. People are getting more anxious and stressed and uncertain. We have a growing wealth gap that is only going to continue to get wider and wider. We've got governments around the world talking about central bank digital currencies, which is essentially programmable or surveillance money, controlling every little aspect of your financial life. We have commercial banks in this country right now dictating to people as to how much of their own money they can access. So all of these things should be red flags for you. So every time that you manage to transfer, exchange failing fiat dollars, the Aussie dollar, into a decentralized, finite, portable, permissionless, uncensorable, unconfiscatable monetary instrument, you are staking your claim in the new monetary system. You are putting yourself at least 1 foot on the life raft, on the economic life raft. That is a mindset. So you have to understand that fiat currencies, they're guaranteed to lose value, whereas Bitcoin is guaranteed to preserve value. And so it's really important that you do not have a 1 week, 1 month, or even a 1 year time horizon when you come into Bitcoin. You need to be zooming out and being really future focused and thinking 4, 5, 10, 12, 15 years ahead. And from that place, you can start making smart decisions, and anything that's happening day to day, week to week, month to month is pure noise. Okay? And it's noise that you should not be paying attention to. You should be simply leaning in, following your conviction, trusting your education, the work you've already done on Bitcoin, and moving forward with it. Locking in a piece of the future. So important to have that perspective around this. Point 2, buying is belief. When you step up to the plate to push the buy button on an exchange or with a full service brokerage, you have your account funded, you've moved your dollars from your commercial bank account into your account with the exchange or the full service brokerage, and you're ready to execute a Bitcoin buy. This is the time where your psychology really comes in. And I know this is the case for many, many people. A lot of people, they get anxious when it comes to buying because they don't want to feel like an idiot if Bitcoin's price dips the next day, the next week, the next month. And so it takes conviction. Every time you hit the buy button, it takes belief. You have to know what you're buying. And you have to be able to say it to yourself in that moment that I understand the problem with fiat currency and I'm choosing the solution. I understand the problem with fiat currency and I'm choosing the solution. Just say that to yourself every time you step up to hit the buy button, and that's going to serve you very, very well. The other thing is, when it comes to belief, is you have to keep reminding yourself that less than 5% of the global population has any exposure to Bitcoin as you and I sit here. As you're watching this video, less than 5% of the global population of 8 billion people have woken up to this yet. This is why you are extremely, extremely early. Again, This helps to reinforce your belief every time you hit the buy button. If you think that Bitcoin is expensive now, you wait until we get to the year 2030. It's going to look like buying a packet of cookies from the supermarket. Seriously. So, you're still early. And the other thing is that if you're sitting there waiting for approval from your financial planner, from your favorite politician, from your accountant, from your best friend at the pub, and none of those people have done any work on Bitcoin, then I would suggest that you need to be more autonomous in your thought process. You should not be paying attention or listening to people who have no idea what Bitcoin is. Okay, so belief is your edge in all of this. You are in the top 5%, well within the top 5% globally, if you are here now learning about Bitcoin and acting upon it. Point number 3, the price does not matter when you zoom out. Do you really think it's going to matter in 5 years' time whether you paid 110,000 US dollars or 120,000 US dollars for Bitcoin? It would make no difference whatsoever. And I realize there's a lot of people now who aren't necessarily buying one whole Bitcoin, and I'm big on this, this message of making people understand that, for a lot of people, buying a whole Bitcoin, yes, that could be the holy grail, but it's a big mountain to climb for most people. Unless you have significant other assets that you're looking to sell out of and deploy and rotate your capital into Bitcoin, then maybe, yes, that's a short-term goal. But owning one whole Bitcoin, that's really the holy grail. But most people, they're thinking in terms of getting to 0.1 or 0.21 or 0.5, half a Bitcoin. These are the goals that most people are setting for themselves that I talk to right now, because they know that if they make that target too far in, out of their reach, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to mess with their head, and they don't want any impedance to them making progress on their stacking journey. And that's why I'm a great believer in setting bite-sized targets for yourself, starting with that 0.1, right, and then scaling it up to 0.21 and then 0.5, and then eventually getting to one whole Bitcoin if you can. Okay, but even if that is seemingly out of reach for you right now, just set achievable targets and move towards those as quickly as you can. And then when you get there, you'll want to keep progressing and stacking to the next level. And so the price doesn't matter when you zoom out. Bitcoin's price is volatile only when you view it day to day, week to week, month to month. When you look at the price of your house, you're not looking at it on a daily or a monthly or even a yearly basis, right? Because there's no price chart for your house that you can pay attention to, okay? And so it's really important that you treat Bitcoin the same. I mean, if Bitcoin is digital real estate, which it's often referred to, scarce, desirable, fixed, finite digital real estate, then why on earth would you pay attention to a daily price chart? Wouldn't you just be saying to yourself, I've got $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 to deploy into Bitcoin today, right? I'm either going to just throw it all in there, buy my Bitcoin at today's price, take it into self-custody, and then work towards my next allocation. Wouldn't you just do that, or even split it up into 2, 3, 4 buys if you've got a certain amount of capital? There's nothing wrong with putting 25% in over four buys if you feel like you'd like to do that. That's a good strategy for some people as well. But ultimately, none of it really matters if you're here for the right reasons and you're zooming out and you have a 5+ year time horizon. So every price dip is really Bitcoin on sale, okay? I want you to think of every price dip as an opportunity for you to acquire more Bitcoin, for you to smooth out your cost base over time. It's called dollar cost averaging, DCAing. And many of the exchanges and even brokerages now, they have these dollar cost averaging products where you can set yourself up with a set and forget savings program where you can allocate a certain amount per week, per month, per quarter, whatever it might be, so that you can utilize Bitcoin as a dollar cost averaging savings technology. Okay, so there's really no excuses, no matter what level you're at, to actually start stacking sats. And I think I said in yesterday's video that to acquire 1 million Satoshis right now, 1 million Satoshis, which is 0.01 Bitcoin, it's about 1,700 to 1,800 Australian dollars, about 1,100 US dollars. And there's going to come a time where that 1 million Satoshis is going to be worth $100,000, $1 million, and beyond. And so it's really important to value every Satoshi that you're able to stack as something significant. And this is why I believe that we're still in the store of value phase when it comes to Bitcoin. People who are new to Bitcoin, what they should be really doing is just stacking as many sats as they possibly can and just zooming out, learning about self-custody, learning how to set things up properly with cold storage wallets, the right type of devices. If you're deploying a significant amount of capital into Bitcoin, I'd definitely be looking at also running a node. All of these kinds of things, and these are part of the conversations that I have with people every single week on my one-on-one coaching calls on Zoom. So if any of this is something that you need my guidance with regarding your personal situation, you'll see a link in the show notes and you can book a one-on-one Zoom call with me. I'll go through it with you. I share my screen with you. I give you basically a personal roadmap for you to follow with the next best steps for you based on where you're at and what you need to do. So the price doesn't matter when you zoom out. Now, the fourth and final point I want to make for you here today is that timing is for traders, and traders rarely win. Like I said at the very top of this video, Bitcoin is not a trade, it's a wealth position. Bitcoin is not an asset that you should be trading. Now, maybe there's a very, very, very small faction of the trading world who can win at trading Bitcoin, but I'm yet to come across anybody who successfully traded Bitcoin and feels like that was a smart decision. Okay, every time you try to time the market, the thing to understand is that what you're now doing with Bitcoin, if you try and sell Bitcoin thinking that you're going to be able to acquire more at a cheaper price, essentially what you're doing is you're betting against Bitcoin. You're shorting Bitcoin. Your belief around Bitcoin is such that you think that its value proposition is going to decline. Yeah, I realize in the short term, but still you're placing a bet against Bitcoin. What you're actually doing is you are effectively selling the world's best performing asset for the world's worst. I want you to keep that in mind. Every time you sell Bitcoin, what you are effectively doing is selling the world's best performing asset for the world's worst. So important to understand that. Now, the only reason to sell Bitcoin back into Aussie dollars or US dollars, the only reason I can think of to do that would be to clear debt, or if you've done that well out of it and you've been here a long, long time, maybe a decade or more, and you've got millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and you've got an opportunity to fulfill a dream maybe that you've always had in terms of a lifestyle dream, and it's an opportunity for you to not sell all of your Bitcoin, but a certain percentage of it, and you're happy to pay the tax on it, and enables you to buy your dream apartment by the beach or something like that, then maybe there's justification in selling your Bitcoin out of the best performing asset into the worst performing asset to realize that dream. I cannot think of any other reason to do that. You certainly wouldn't do it just because you've tripled, quadrupled, or 10x'd your money. When you consider the fact that it triggers taxes, and now you have a situation where all of a sudden you're back into the sinking ship system, you've had to pay tax on it, and now what are you going to do with the money? Most people, they realize they've made a mistake and now they want to buy more Bitcoin with their proceeds, but unfortunately they've mistimed it, and so now they're unable to acquire the Bitcoin that they thought they were going to be able to acquire to get themselves in a better position than they were. So they would have been better off just holding on and just adding to their position rather than trying to time the market and outsmart Bitcoin and have this stress, anxiety, the tax problem and everything that comes with doing that. So long-term holders outperform short-term traders in every single cycle. Please don't think that you're going to outsmart Bitcoin. Spend your time learning about what Bitcoin is, what it represents, where this world is going, how Bitcoin is repricing the entire legacy financial system, how it's the world's first truly global free market that you'll have the opportunity to participate in peer-to-peer. That's what you need to be thinking about. Spend your time thinking about that, planning for the future, getting yourself set up in the most self-sovereign way that you can, and stop asking yourself whether now is the right time to buy. Every time you have capital or surplus savings, that is the right time to buy, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Once again, next week I'd love to see you on Zoom. If you'd like to be at my Zoom live stream events, just type Zoom in the comments below. I'll share the link with you. You must register to attend. Many people have been booking over the past couple of days, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all Tuesday night or Friday morning. Other than that, I hope you got some value, some insight today. Just remember that Bitcoin rewards patience and conviction. Nothing stops where Bitcoin is going. You just have to stop looking at short-term price movements and really focusing on where you're going to be in 5, 7, 10, 12 years time from now. Hope you got some value today. Please like, share and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. This is Zane signing out. Bye for now.